Hola, darlings. It's Moe B Outside. How y'all doing?
Hola, darlings. Yo,
Yes.
That is amazing. We got to go into that. But yes, I'm here with the beautiful Moe B Outside. Oh, man, I'm so happy to have you, Mo.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, hold on. Before we get started, I'm going to have to ask you about your skincare routine because your skin, y'all may not recognize it, but this
That's
girl
hilarious.
has
You
a
better be zooming in.
beautiful.
Skincare. So when I turned 30, I decided that, the old adage, oh, black don't crack, may not apply to everybody. So I'm really into the Korean skincare process.
Korean skincare.
Yes, it's multiple steps, double cleansing, oils, ampules, sort of all the things. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm big into skincare.
Okay, you could tell. I mean, your skin is flawless. Your skin is absolutely flawless. You got me over here looking like Craig Mack. Shout out to Craig Mack. So, yes, you got me, but your skin is absolutely
all of your
flawless.
viewers aren't going to know who that is.
No, yeah, they do. We got an older crowd. We got an older audience. So, shout out to the older audience who know who Craig Mack is. Mo, please, for those who don't know, can you tell the listener audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Monique. I run the social media platform Moe B Outside. It talks about all the things that are in and around Philly, according to Mo. So that is what I do on TikTok, Instagram. Yeah.
Right.
So I support and market, local businesses, local events, predominantly, but not exclusively Black and brown.
Got you. How did you get into that space? Like, how did you get into that?
Yeah, so I went viral on TikTok one day. So I made a video about Juneteenth and the Side John, which are two prominent Philadelphia institutions when it comes to what's going on in Philadelphia. And then someone randomly asked me in a comment, what's going on in Juneteenth? And so I produced, the list that I had already sent to my best friends.
Right.
And it got, for my, following of 500, it got, I don't know, something like 75,000 views.
Wow.
And so they said, hey, can you do this again? So sure, I can do it again. Well, if I have a TikTok, I have to have an Instagram because everybody's not on TikTok.
Right.
If I have Instagram, then I need a link in my bio to tell you all the links. Then I need a logo.
Right.
Right. And just sort of all the things.
Right.
And so if I'm going to tell you about what's going on and it's new, then I probably should interview them. So that's how I got into podcasting. Shout out to Ricky Cody on the MQ Factory team. Because that's essentially that. It's sort of more of an organic thing. I did not set out to do any of what I'm doing right now, but I really enjoy it.
Right. No, that's amazing. And one of the things that I'm big on is taking advantage of your advantages. Okay. There's a lot of times in which we are presented with opportunities and things that we are gifted at, but because we're often looking at other people's gifts, that we overlook our very own. And some of the things that happen for us good in our lives, we have to learn how to capitalize off of that. So I appreciate the fact that you saying, hey, listen, something good went my way and I just ran with it.
100%. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you face with that? Like, what are some of the challenges that you have now, for those who don't know, you also work full time, correct?
I do. Mm-hmm.
So how do you manage that? Like, how do you manage a full-time job as well as being a social influencer? So
I don't believe in work-life balance. It doesn't exist. I believe in work-life harmony. So when one thing is going really well, then, it allows for something, you have time for other things. And if, the world crashes on one end of the spectrum, then something is impacted. So in my life, I work on a priority order.
Okay.
So, I have to maintain my house, maintain my life, right? So my primary job right now is, my 9 to 5, my corporate gig.
Right.
And then as long as that's going well and it's not busy season and sort of all of those things, then it allows me to do
opens you up for other things. That's a really interesting perspective. That's
right. So like if my health is impacted, for example, everything stops, right? Because priority order. So
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So how do you find that priority? Like how do you, how do you manage that priority? Like how do you manage what task needs to be done first? Because everything is screaming for your attention. So how do you find that balance?
The cool thing about having a corporate job and being an entrepreneur is that I get to say no. And so because this isn't, I'm not saying that entrepreneurs don't get to say no, but my no comes a little bit more freely than some people's. So yeah, I get to say no. And essentially Moe B Outside is a marketing platform. So I get to do what I want. So I don't necessarily have to be at anybody's,
Beck
because
and
I
call.
asked you, beck and call. I do what I want.
No.
Can I get on the list?
I appreciate that.
Maybe not.
So is there a time period in which where your job may not have aligned up with Moe B Outside and you had to find like an adjustment? Like is
100%. It just means that I get to decide. I get to decide if I'm going to continue with my passion project.
Right.
And that means that I might be not sleeping as much, or I might need to, because my passion project starts at 5 a.m. and my corporate job starts at 9. So if I get to decide, what am I doing between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m.?
No, that's a beautiful thing, and that's amazing, and that's actually, because I know for me, this is all I do. All I do is videography. My life revolves around the camera one way or another. Okay.
Okay.
But I also suffer from not having a good balance. Everything with this, my dating life surrounds around these cameras, surround around this, like everything does it. And I'm trying to find that place because you mentioned health, because like even like now as I get older, I'm not going to the gym as much. It revolves around these cameras.
Right.
So I really appreciate that, because it sounds like you have a line in the sand, like saying, hey, listen, if this does not align with what I got mainly, I'm putting a stop to this. Is that true?
It depends. The answer, I live in gray. So the answer is always it depends. I think that.
Okay. Don't want to commit to nothing. I get it.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
That just means that some people have hard definitions about things and sometimes I don't, or I have very fluid definitions of things. And I believe that most things are on a spectrum, right? So, as you're moving throughout your day, as you're moving throughout life, where the big rock is, right? It might change. But as long as, like I said, in priority order, the corporate job comes first.
Right.
And that just means that creatively, right, I need to work smarter, not harder. I need to have some systems and procedures in place in the way that I work to make, even when times are hard or my time is, from this meeting to that meeting to 6 events over a weekend or sort of whatever, that I'm able to produce consistently.
Got you. Understand that. In a market like Philly, because Philly is hard, you guys. Like, for those who don't know, Philly is a hard place. Philly is hard, So how do you find a way to navigate in that? Like in this concrete jungle we call the city, how do you find a way to find, the influencers and the people, the movers and shakers and stuff? And being a woman, not just a woman, but a Black woman in this city, have you ever endured like discrimination, or have people ever like not giving you the opportunity? Because it's cool while you up on the mountain, but what was it like in the very beginning?
Well, I still feel like I'm in the beginning. I've only been doing this for about 2 years. Discrimination, I think discrimination is an interesting way to look at it, because as we're talking about social media influencing, which is indeed marketing, right? Social media influencing is marketing. And so no one would ever walk up to Google and say, hey, would you like a platter? And then use your platform to promote my business. Nobody would ever say that. Nobody would say that to Google. No one would go to the Inquirer and say, I got these free tickets. Will you promote my thing? Okay. No one would ever do that. And so I think that the hardship that you're speaking of is more around people finding value in what I do. Right. Particularly that because I started to do it for the first year and a half, I did it for free.
Right.
So like understanding the thing that I did for free for you last year was to show you that I could do it and show you the value of what I have and what I bring to the table. And it may not be free for you this year. Right.
And I love that too, because I know for me, with starting this entrepreneur journey, I have went down that free route before and have given away my services. And it's like I want to help people. So it sometimes tap into me just wanting to be of service. But I also understand that I got people who depend on me. I got financial obligations. And if I know that if I continuously give you what I got, then I won't have anything. How did you find that strength to say no?
Well, it's very interesting. I think because I don't necessarily need to say no. So one of the things that is beautiful, again, about my platform is I get to decide what's on it. And you can't pay your way to get on the list.
Got you.
So like that keeps my list of events, sort of what I'm promoting in terms of the weekend list. It keeps the integrity there.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. So, because otherwise it just turns into...
they just paying a bunch of money to get up there and it don't mean anything.
I'm laughing at a bunch of money, but it's one of those things where if I don't believe that it's in alignment with myself, and so how does one get on the list? That's always a good question, right?
Right.
You get on the list because it's something that I could go to by myself in heels. I'm a woman. I like to get dressed, right? And if it merits the heels or not, it doesn't matter. But if I can go and not have to run for any reason, foreseeable reason, then I will put it on my platform. It's also one of those things where
safety is a big thing with you.
Safety is a huge thing for me. I'm not from Philly. Right. I've been here for 19 years. So the fact that I'm not from Philly is not a real thing, right? I'm a Philadelphian. I paid Mayor Netter's taxes. Talk to somebody else, right? But there's lots of people that resonate with me because they're also not from Philadelphia, don't know what neighborhood, what not to, what time you're supposed to be certain places and what time you're not supposed to be certain places, right? And I can't require anybody that follows my page and follows my recommendations to need that information. Like, I'm not going down the bottom at midnight. I'm not going. I'm not going. Now, am I saying that everybody can't go?
You hearing that, Taurus? All right, don't go to the bottom at night. You hear that?
I'm not sending anybody, to certain. I'm just not going to do that.
No, for sure.
I'm not doing it because I feel like it's a responsibility that I have. If I told you that I would go, then I'm telling you that I can go in heels, well dressed. No,
that's good. And I think that message need to be conveyed. Like that message is definitely important because it is a lot of people who do get on a bigger platform and they're quick to sell their soul, and they're like anybody with $1 they could get on. But the fact that you maintaining that level-headedness and groundness is important. Yeah. So I appreciate that. How do you measure success as an entrepreneur? And what I mean by that is like growing the brand and also as an influencer at the same time.
So what's funny is I never liked the word influencer. So up until I was nominated for the People's Choice Award at the Philadelphia Magazine Influencer Awards, I never used that word.
Gotcha.
So I find out if I actually win in September. But
can I vote?
The voting period is over. I need you to be locked into Moe B Outside so you knew when to vote.
Right. No, hold on. Let me put this out here. It's
respectfully.
Funny. This is my first time. I met you before a couple parties and stuff like that.
Right.
But this is my first time really sitting down with you. Shout out to Vern. Shout out to All Money Shots. Yo, facts. Shout out to All Money Shots. That's my mentor, my man's, my inspiration. Mm-hmm. That's my homie right there. The big homie. Shout out to All Money Shots. When I came home, I met Vern and he guided me and directed me the whole way. So I definitely appreciate him. But it's funny, because although I'm sitting here with you, there's a part of me that's like, man, you know her. I look at you every Monday, every weekend. There's a part of me. It's like
the internet definitely breeds familiarity.
Right. It's like, my God. So, and it's funny because even when the people, when I'm telling them that you hear, I'm like, I got Moe B Outside. And they're like, okay, all right. But I'm like, no. I understand. I see her every week because I'm always looking for networking opportunities. I'm always looking for networking opportunities. And I like the way you run it down, and the way you have it, the platform.
I appreciate it.
It feels so welcoming. And
good.
By you not being from Philly, I feel like you definitely captured the essence of the city.
Oh, and you know what? I tell people that all the time. So it's one of those things like when you're from Philly, and I have a lot of friends growing up that were from Philly. And so it was very funny that I eventually, came here for undergrad, fell in love, did the whole thing. So I went to Philadelphia University, which is now Jefferson, and then subsequently got my executive MBA at Drexel.
Gotcha.
But not being from Philly allowed me to see the city in a different way.
Got you.
Right. So and please in the comments tell me if I'm wrong, but if you're from West and I say, I'm going, I'm going down north to go to such and such and such and such. And the first thing that half the people that I talk to say is, I don't go there. I don't do that. Okay. That's not my neighborhood. I don't do that. Right. Or if you're from Cheltenham and I tell you I'm going I'm going down and I'm going over west. They'd be like, I don't go over there.
You know what's funny? I remember hearing Charleston White, and he said something about, he said Philly is more segregated in the South. He said it's like, it's weird. And it's funny, it's really like that because you grow up and you say, man, I'm not going in that neighborhood.
Oh, I'm not doing
that. I'm not doing that. So I definitely appreciate that perspective. And the fact that you came here and loved the city, because for many years I was kind of mad with God with that. I'm like, God, of all the places you could have put me at, you put me in Philadelphia, God. You know?
It's one of those things, right? So I think a lot of people, unless you are thinking about the arts of Philadelphia, right? So because I went to Philadelphia University, the first introduction that I had to Philly was the art community.
Right.
And so the design community, the fashion community. So it was originally a fashion school.
Right.
And then so they had us literally with the first 3 days I was in Philadelphia, we went on a mural arts tour.
Right.
So I got to sort of see how the mural arts project transformed the visual nature of the city.
Right.
And so then from there, right? So at the time, World Cafe Live was doing the harvest, right? So like talking to, the poets and then the art community and sort of like that.
Right.
Also, I wasn't in the hood. So let's call a spade, right? So I was on a very beautiful campus.
Right.
And I came here to learn, and I'm into this arts community and sort of all of these things. Coming here for undergrad, you get Campus Philly. Shout out to them.
Right.
You get $5 tickets downtown to go see all of these plays, and sort of like, so my view of the city was
a whole lot different. You was able to appreciate it. You know what though, is real, because I used to go out to New York all the time. Shout out to New York. And I used to fall in love with the arts, and then realizing that it's also in my city. Like Philadelphia got a lot of culture.
Very much
it's
so.
a lot of historic landmarks here. It's a lot of art. Unfortunately, sometimes that stuff get overshadowed by some of the crime here and some of the elements that happen here. But Philadelphia is a town that has a really big heart. It's like, it's weird. It's like, we ain't nothing to play with, but we are definitely a lovable bunch at the same time. Like, we love hard here in the city.
I don't know. See, I think that it's an earned love. So I'll challenge you there. So I think where I have an appreciation for Philadelphia is there is no acclamation, right?
Okay.
So like, you need to be where you are from.
Okay.
That is, when you come to Philly, you can't act like you're from Philly. And
That's a fact.
And I've been here for 19 years, and people are like, "Are you from Philly?" No. Because if I am talking to a Philadelphian and I don't say this block and this block, it's over, right? I've immediately lost my authenticity.
Right.
They're like, this person is not real.
He's a fraud.
They're a fraud.
You for fraud and Gerard. Yeah, right.
And who wants that, right? And so the thing I appreciate about Philly is that you have to come 10 toes down and be yourself.
That's a fact.
And if you can stand 10 toes down and be yourself and not be real scary, not only will they love on you, but like literally that is the thing that my platform runs on. I am supported by my city, and I'm not even from here. Right. And that is something that I will be forever grateful for.
Right. One of the reasons I wanted to create this platform is because I wanted to show our sisters in a different light. I don't like the way our sisters are being painted by the media. Okay. I make a joke that I can't get another Jill Scott because I'm surrounded by sexy reds, and I have no problem with sexy reds. I feel like they represent liberation, but I feel like I want our sisters to be seen as more. Okay. So when we talk about the image of the Black woman and the future being female, and you having a true, footprint on that, what is your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on how Black women are perceived in the media?
Yes.
What I would love is if we were allowed to be individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would love. I think that the respectability politics of it all, and sort of what's okay for a person to do and what's not okay to be the whole idea that I'm representing my entire community 24/7 and not have the ability to let my hair down and not have my, I can be sexy red it can be 7 p.m. Friday, right? I can do that, right? And then in 12 hours, I can put on a business suit and go to an IT conference. Then I can change my hair on Monday and go do something else, right? Like, I think that the power that we have as Black women should not be framed or confined.
Okay. I mean, I respect that. My little bit of pushback is we got to respect the fact that it is like that. You know, like where as a black man, I know that I'm also, there's not a lot of black men that are in a position to talk to a Moe B Outside. There's not a lot of black men that could talk to women who are in these different industries. So I represent a group of men that never would have that voice. And I got to carry that and carry that well, because if I mess up, if I drop the ball, they may never have that voice. They may never see that side.
I think that what I would want you to say is that in your experience with black women, we are all of these things in our community.
Right.
Right? We are all of these things. We are, you know, the Joe Scotts. We are the Sexy Reds. We are the Michelle Obamas. We are the Kamala Harris.
Right,
we are all
right.
of these people all the time.
Right.
Right? And so I don't know that our ability to give each other grace and have space for learning is contingent upon one mistake and sort of one thing. And so, like I said, if we're able to exist on a spectrum, I do hope that we would have space for grace and learning for everybody.
You know what? I light up when you said the word grace, because that's one of the words I use a lot. It's like, I feel like black men have to give black women grace, and we black women have to give black men grace, because I'm so sick of seeing us fighting online. I'm so sick of seeing the debates and the constant, and again, it's entertaining, you know, and I'm not really one to internalize that stuff, but in some way, I guess I am. You know, it's like I see it all the time, and I feel like it just causes the division amongst black men and black women. So another reason why I wanted to have this platform is for us to have hard conversations and to move away from some of them things, you know, to say, hey, let's talk about some of these heated debates and get to the bottom of it, and to kind of go a little bit deeper, because one of the feedbacks I constantly get is, you know, you should be on camera. Why aren't you on camera? And I'm like, well, it's not about me. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your perspective, because I want to give that voice, because I recognize that our sisters don't always have a voice. And when they do, it's shared. It's like it's shared with this person, it's shared with that person, it's shared with this black man. Let you speak. I'm not cutting you off. I want you to be able to tell your story and your side, because that's a side that other people may not get. So with that being said, how do you handle, I guess, being the role model, or for people to look at you? I know you don't like the word as being an influencer, but what Moe does, the city listen to. Like, Moe is a big deal in the city, you guys.
I appreciate you. I do. No, it's one of those things where I didn't like influencer, because for a long time, particularly after the pandemic, right, influencer had sort of this, it felt like marbles in my mouth, right? I would have rather been called a curator, a creative, a marketer, because that's exactly what's happening, right? But to get back to your question, how does one handle that? I think that I have been very blessed, like I said, to be loved on by Philadelphia. So in my interactions with people, it is genuinely in love, even if the question is, why didn't you post my stuff? Right. So it is genuinely in love. And I do think that industry professionals and, you know, the people that are coming out to these events all respect the fact that it is up to me. Right. Right. So like the power of my, you know, no, or my power of my, hey, check this out, it's brand new, is earned. Right. It wasn't given.
Right. No, and you wear that. You wear that. You don't walk around with, you have an air about you that says, I put in the work to be here.
That is one thing that I do pride myself on.
You do.
No one will outwork me.
That is amazing right there. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about, because I want to get into some tangibles, because again, I want the women, men, women. I don't even want to keep saying women no more. I want it to be anyone who's smart enough to listen to you to be able to get the tangibles. So what are some of your time management skills that you do? Do you get a full 8 hours of sleep?
Normally it's like 6.5 to 7. 8 is probably a no, but yeah, 6.5.
But 6.5, 7. What's your diet like?
Colorful.
Colorful? Okay.
I don't
like. Yeah, like, are you like one of them like calorie counting people?
No,
or are you
I would mess
food,
that up.
Vegan, or like?
I know I eat
regular.
I don't know what regular is. Okay. But Like I make sure that I eat, 5 handfuls of vegetables every day. And then depending on the season, a couple of handfuls of fruit. And then, the rest kind of just happens.
I had some fruit today. Starburst. Did that work?
No.
That's not fruit?
No.
I ain't think it would be. Yeah.
Head to the produce junction.
You know what though? I tell you, because eating on the go, with me, I'm still trying to find that balance. I mentioned exist. I'm trying to find that balance.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't.
You know what? That is really enlightening.
Like,
though.
stop chasing balance. Stop chasing balance.
Stop chasing the balance.
Stop chasing the balance.
The word, the lifestyle doesn't exist.
It's harmony.
Harmony.
The word is harmony. So if you said, I'm so always on the go, right? Mm-hmm. And so wherever your go-to fast food is, Chipotle, the Cava, the whatever.
Chick-fil-A. I do a Chick-fil-A.
Okay. So then you could get you some grilled nuggets and a bunch of boxes of salad and and your Gucci.
They just built the Sprouts around the way. So I've been rocking out with Sprouts.
That's what's up.
I've been doing that. I've been doing that.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like work harder, not smarter. So if you know that you're not gonna cook and you decide I need to eat, fill in the blank. Right. Then you either get to spend time or money. But what we don't get to do is beat ourselves up about not doing one of those two things.
Got you. What got you to that point? How did you come to that realization?
What? That it costs to be the boss? That was something that my mother said all the time.
Got you.
Old school mother. It costs to be the boss. So if you would like to be the boss, right? You'd have to put in time or you have to spend money.
Right.
That's the answer.
Right.
So pick the answer and then work backwards.
Okay. Reverse engineer it.
Reverse engineer it. So if I don't have time, I need to spend money. And if I don't have money, I better make time.
No, that makes
that's the answer.
That makes a lot of sense. With your position as being Moe B Outside,
not the air quotes.
The air quotes. I can't see I'm doing air quotes, y'all. How do you feel the need to not post up and to post up, but not post up everything, and to I always gotta. I guess what I'm trying to say is to always feel like you gotta post up the most lobbyists, littest party. How do you find that balance in saying, hey, I post this up, I'm okay with it, and I'm just going to just let it ride? How do you find that place?
In terms of the content, the events that I'm posting?
Yeah, how do you navigate the need to constantly produce content while also focusing on your long-term goals?
Oh, okay. Well, it's with marketing or any type of social media, you have a strategy, right? And I think that applies to most entrepreneurs. I think that for me, it's more so about what my goals are.
Okay.
So at a period of time, I was in the growth phase, and I said, well, I need 10,000 followers on TikTok. I need 10,000 followers on Instagram. So I was posting on both platforms 3 to 4 times a day.
Right.
So that's 6 to 7 pieces of content every day, and they don't always translate across platforms.
That's a fact.
And so that meant I needed to make time to make content.
Gotcha.
Right? That's no longer, I'm still in the growth phase, but I'm no longer growing in that way.
Right.
Right? So now I don't have to, or I'm choosing to not post 3 times a day. I could post 3 times a day and still be, but that wasn't manageable with my client load and sort of, brand deals and sort of things like that. So just trying to do the best that I can with what I have.
Right. No, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. One of the things though, when you post content, and I've ran across this problem is, I won't say a problem, but I did this, and this happened to me. You ever post up something and it does really, really well, and then you're trying to live up to that again, and you're trying to
100%. Yeah,
how do you manage that feeling? That I don't know how to quantify that, but you get what I'm saying?
Right. The one thing that I say to anybody that knows me is that the internet is not real.
Okay.
And so that's it. That's the answer. The answer is the internet is not real. So one reel that I put up could get 100,000 views. Right. The same exact format, same exact everything. Right. Could get 10,000 views. Right. Right. I post the same, literally almost the same exact content every Wednesday. Right. Some of those got 40,000 views. Some of them got 7,000 views. Right. The internet is not real.
Got you.
It doesn't mean that whatever I was doing was less valuable or less of quality or sort of those things.
Got you.
If I decide to pivot to anything, it's because I've decided that it needed to be you know what I mean?
Be pivoted to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so anybody that's talking to you about social media management and sort of all of those things, they'll tell you to post the same piece of content 2 to 3 times because it's going to do differently every single time. Because the internet's not real.
No, that's a real thing.
It's not real. Right.
I know for me, I post up my content and I don't get a lot of likes. Okay. I get a lot of views, but I don't get a lot of likes.
Everybody.
Like, I think people, when it comes to this platform, they don't know if they should like it yet. It's not enough fanfare yet. Like
No.
Okay.
No, it's one of those things that there will always be people that look at your stuff and never like it, never comment, never anything. I've run into people and they're just like, "Oh, you're Moe B Outside." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." What's your Instagram? And then sort of we'll exchange Instagram and they don't even follow me. And so like, it's not a thing, right? So what I can do is say, shout out to my day one, shout out to my VIPs, my community, the people that I'm engaging with, right?
Right.
Are actively engaged, right? So that's real.
You know what?
That's the real.
I'm glad
part
you
of
mentioned
the internet.
that. I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that the new, I don't want to say wave because I don't want it to feel like it's trendy, but I think the new way to go about it is to build a community. Is to have your day ones, your sandbox crew. Like people who really support you and really go out there and just cultivate in that. I think that's how it would go.
That was the whole point of social media apps anyway. It's
supposed to be that, right?
To, build community and to find your people. And one thing about the algorithm, and this is something I also say all the time, is that your people will find you. You just sort of have to exist authentically.
I agree.
Your people will find you.
Your people will find you. Moe, as a layered woman, right?
Layered.
You are a layered woman. Like you are. No, and I mean that as like a woman that you just have so much to you. Like you have so much to you. What is one of the things you want people to know about you though? Like for people who don't know you, what are some things you would want somebody to know about you?
I think that I'm extremely private. So one of the things that people think about influencers or anyone in my position. Did you see your
following count? Did you see how many followers you have?
I do. I look at it periodically. I am extremely private.
Wow.
So that's one thing that I think people don't think. I think that people think that, your phone is constantly out and you're sort of constantly taking pictures and sort of all of those things. And that's just not my real life. So actually my good girlfriends, shout out to y'all. If you ever see a selfie of me, I didn't take it.
No, you know what though? That's real.
I hate taking selfies.
That is so real what you're saying, because even as a photographer, I'd be like, I suck. I will literally eat my meal and not take a picture.
No,
and
that's
it's not
actually
until it's over. And I'm
actually,
like, damn, I needed a picture.
No, I didn't need a picture of the food. No. So if you follow me, you know that the camera woman is never fast enough. So how you can tell I enjoyed a meal is that there are empty plates.
Right. Okay. Well, I like the spin because I swear I'll be like, yo, I did not take anything of that. I'll meet people. I'll meet celebrities. And my first go-to is not my phone. My first go-to. And it's like, damn, I'm a cameraman. I need to do that. But I seriously, like, because you know what? I also lived in a space where, when I was in prison for several years, I wasn't able to enjoy these things. Mm-hmm. So as in being conscious to stay in the moment, there's a side of me that's like, man, I just want to live here. When I meet a celebrity, it's like, I'm happy to see him. I ain't thinking I'm happy to see him. Let me get my phone out. It's like, I'm thinking I'm going to tell the story to my boys. Not,
there it is.
So,
I think that people experience life differently. And I have no shade or shame for anybody that pulls out their phone, because y'all just quicker to draw than I am.
Right.
And I appreciate y'all because that makes for great content. It makes for great stories. It makes for all of those things. And I think that's what's beautiful about these different types of platforms. So you have the people that are excellent at living in the moment and capturing the moment, right? And then you have me, who's, is going to tell you what's going on before I get there, because when I get there, the phone is probably on like 5% when I leave the house. So like...
You know what? When I hear you talk, though, also one of the things I get from you as your gifts will find you.
100%.
Your gifts will find you. Like, I also get that, like, your aura is screaming, I didn't have to run. it followed me. I put the work in, don't get it wrong, but it's I'm not chasing it. I'm really appreciative of you being here. Like, I'm really appreciative of you and getting your energy. With that being said, please tell what you got going on, what you got, what can we do for this platform to support,
I appreciate it. Yes. All right. So every first Wednesday, myself and my brother Darian Lamont throw Well Crafted. Well Crafted is a wine cocktail mixer. If you are dry, there are mocktails. So there's no reason not to come out and just be amongst people to network, to let your hair down. And it's one of those type situations where a lot of people don't like going out or always asking me, Mo, where's a lounge? Where's a lounge? Right. Because all we want to do is just talk to people and not be screaming and our ears not ringing. So it's that type of time. So everyone can always follow me at Moe B Outside, TikTok, Instagram, Mo_B_outside. I also will be starting season 3 of my podcast, The Pregame. So the pregame is about interviewing Philadelphia's greatest curators, business people, creatives, talking about what they've got going on in the city. So that's definitely how you can support me. I also stay locked in. I have some really cool events coming up in the fall and the winter. So yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Definitely, I would love y'all can't see me, but I got my hand raised when she said she's gonna be interviewing the greatest. So yeah, by all means, y'all can't see. I'm like, look for me.
I love it.
But we want to definitely support, because one of the things of being here is about celebrating our women and giving them a platform. So I thank you. I appreciate your time, your energy, your story.
Thanks
I appreciate that.
Me.
I'm so grateful to have you here. With that being said, we're going to close out, Okay. So thank you so very much, and I hope to have you again.
Yes. See y'all soon.